A lot of Americans likely piled up some credit card bills during this holiday season. They're probably wondering how they can get out of that large amount of debt they are in.
I'll tell you, I hate January and February because all the bills start, coming in. With us this morning, Brett King. He's a financial expert and the founder of MYFOXNY. Nice to have you here, Mr.
Great
King.
to be here.
What is MYFOXNY?
So we're a mobile banking service. Basically, download the app and everything you need as a bank is right there on your phone. Of course, you get a debit card to use at the point of sale. But
so like there's no bank in your area? It's just like this bank that's
no branches. I mean, if you think about most of our banking today is done either on internet or on our phone or at the point of sale with a debit card. You know, we don't really visit the branch that much anymore. So.
Huh.
Let's say you're, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 in debt, credit card debt for a lot of people. What's the first thing you should do, being that it's a new year?
Well, you know, at this time of year, everyone's talking about New Year resolutions and whether it's going to be getting physically fit or financially fit. You know, what's the tools available to us? Old school methods are something like, you know, you get envelopes and you stuff them full of money and you say, I'm going to have some money for groceries, I'm going to have money for dining out, and that's going to be my budget for the month. But of course now we have these great tools that we can download on our phone, whether they're budgeting tools or help us to understand our spending on a day-to-day basis.
I like that idea in theory, except there are lots of people who live basically paycheck to paycheck, and they don't have a lot of money to kind of play around with. So what do you suggest for those people?
So the big problem these days is, and rightly in the United States, almost, well, just over half of Americans don't do any budgeting, and 20% of Americans don't know what they spend each month on dining and entertainment, eating out, things like that. So the first thing is awareness, understanding how much you're spending on these things so you can bring it under control.
So you really should, like, for 1 month, just kind of document everything that you spend your money on?
Well, that used to be the old way we do it. We use the envelopes or write it down.
All right, what's the new way?
Well, the smartphone. We carry this in our pocket, and this is all we really need to do. You know, we can download these apps like Mint.com and other tools. Movin is the one we're working on. And these tools will help you categorize all of your spending. They give you each of the categories. And now even when you go and pay at a store, you can get a real-time receipt that says, you know, you're at Starbucks, you spent $5 at Starbucks today, but did you know you spent $60 at Starbucks and it's the 5th of the month already?
What?
Wow.
You can find out that quickly?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Let's say you have racked up some debt. What's the best way to get out? You know, one question I hear a lot, let's say you've got some money in a 401k or some kind of retirement fund. Is it ever a good idea to borrow some money out of that to pay credit card bills or not?
So there are better options available right now. In fact, one of the things that's been a huge success over the last few years in the US is what we call peer-to-peer lending. Basically, types of social networks that have grown up to get borrowers and lenders together, but enables us to get debt consolidation, take our 13 or 19% credit card interests and convert that to something that maybe is 5 or 6% through these
and that's safe and secure on these
Absolutely.
websites?
In fact, these peer-to-peer lenders like Lending Club and Prosper, these guys actually have lower default rates than the best banks in the United States. Yeah.
So should we be thinking about consolidating our debt as we start the year?
Well, if you take something like Lending Club, about 80% of the loans they do are debt consolidation, primarily credit card consolidation, because credit cards are actually a bad way to lend money because the interest rates are so very high.
Yeah, what are the interest rates now on these credit cards?
Average credit card interest rate APR in the United States is about 14% right now. But during the financial crisis, it went up to 30%. So some people have still got loans carried over from those days.
Wow. I mean, that's $30 on every, $100. That's a lot of money that you're paying to borrow that money. Is it ever okay to, let's say you have a big purchase or a medical emergency. When is it ever okay to put that on a credit card and say, okay, I know it's going to take me 5 months to pay it down, but I have no other choice? So
there's two types of uses of the credit card. There's this revolving use where you can pay it off every month, and that's the best way to use your credit card. But when you start building up that credit card debt, and you've got a lot of money sitting on that at the end of each month, which you can't pay off, that's really the time you should be considering an alternative.
All right. One last tip, the most important tip for 2014. Give us something good that we can think about.
So if you're going to get on top of your financial health, you first need awareness of what you're spending. So you make use of these tools that are available on your smartphone, and every day you can get that feedback in terms of how you're going. Think of it like the Nike Fuel Band or these fitness tools we use now to help us get physically fit. The first step is awareness.
All right. Brett King, MYFOXNY.com is the website. Thanks so much for coming in. Happy 2014.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what? He's right, and I'm wearing one of these fitness things.
Absolutely.
Why not get financially fit?
Right.